Well, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I think at least twice I've done a video in the fall when I do my golf game. I don't play golf. I walk around the golf course in the fall. It's been closed for about a month now, and I've been waiting for them to take the little flags down off the green and fill in the holes, because they leave it up for quite a while and let people golf for free in the fall after the course closes. But they're still up, and I just talked to the manager of the golf course. He's out here playing today. I guess he said he's leaving it up just to encourage people to come play. Maybe they'll join up next year and become members or whatever. So this is Angel's first time on the golf course, and I'm dressed like the Great Pumpkin. It's deer hunting season here. The golf course is in provincial parkland, which I think I'm right in saying is never open to hunting, but better safe than sorry. It's a 9-hole course, not a large course, and I don't know much about golf courses other than I always think it's very beautiful. So I'll take several clips of us as we go around and put this together into a video. Angel is having a great time. A whole lot of stuff that's never been explored before. I just whistled, and that's why she's running back to me like that. Always does. Always returns when you ask her to. Amazing dog. We've been walking on the beach here in the provincial park, Herring Cove Beach. Oh, it's probably a mile-long black sand beach, and because of the hunting season, it's the safest place to walk. And, you know, she's explored it all, but then we had these very high tides, and it shifted around all the pieces of driftwood and put the rockweed and seaweed and stuff in different places. We were out there yesterday, and it all had to be sniffed again. It took a long time to get her the length of the beach. Everything was changed, and she had to check out everything once again. She really loves to explore. She's enjoying this because she's never been here before. Evidently, Angel is not a golf ball dog. Years ago, when I had my Dalmatian, we would walk around the course in the fall and again in the spring before they started playing golf. And I had a half-ton truck at the time. On the back of the truck, there would often be as many as 25 or 30 golf balls. She would find them everywhere. I even seen her go over to a hole that looked like a mole hole or something and dig until she come up with one. She could smell a golf ball a long ways off. And as long as I took it away from her, she would just immediately go looking for another one. We had a fantastic collection of golf balls that I used to give to various golfers for practice use, I guess, especially if they've been out over winter. I don't think they were much good to use as a golf ball. The freezing evidently does something to them. So far, Angel has not come up with a golf ball. Most of the leaves are down, but some of these trees, I'm looking at this tree, it's a maple tree, I guess, of some sort, looking at the leaves. It still has some leaves on it, but the majority of the leaves are on the ground. I always like the grass on the greens. Here, Angel, we're on the greens, dear. Had a lawn like that, it would make sense. My uncle, who passed away a number of years ago now, was the first greenskeeper here at the golf course. He retired and lived a few years after he retired, but I remember him telling me that when the greens were built, all the soils and whatever were there, the last thing that they added was a red powdered clay or whatever, and it comes in sacks from the Mississippi, somewhere in the southern United States. And that's something that kind of grass, if they can clip really close like that on a green, that it benefits from this type of red clay, whatever it was. That's the last layer they put on before they seeded it. I didn't even call her this time. Every once in a while, if she's been away from me for a few minutes, I can always see where she is, but she has to return to check on me, or she takes off on some more exploring. I thought I saw a golf ball, but what that is a puffball mushroom. or fungus anyway, if you call it a mushroom. Angel has checked it out for me. And all puffballs supposedly are safe to eat. I've never tried. I've never dared try any mushroom out of the wild. Unfortunately, there was a very sad story in Canada a few weeks ago, out on the British Columbia, in Victoria, British Columbia. A small child, a girl I believe, a small girl, ate the mushroom and died a day or so later. And they feel that what she ate was a deadly nightcap or whatever, just a harmless looking, innocuous little mushroom, but deadly poisonous. I guess I could eat the puffballs, but I don't try them. As I said, we're in provincial parkland. You can see that building through the trees over there. That's the registration office for the campground, which is closed this time of year, but there's, I think, roughly 100 campsites in behind that building. Various types of campsites. The rustic ones in the woods and in a large field. The one was with electric hookups and everything for people with trailers, RVs. This is the fairway and the green for the first hole. And what I will show you is once we get up to the top of that hill where you tee off from, there's a wonderful view from up there. And this is the view from the first tee, and that is Herring Cove Beach, the beach that Angel and I have been walking on almost every day now for the last 2 or 3 weeks. If you can see that stretch of water sort of in behind the beach, that's a long, narrow lake called Lake Glen Severn, freshwater lake. It's sort of divided. You can't see the division there up at the end. There's an area that sort of separates it with some trees or whatever, but altogether it's probably about 1 kilometer long and not very wide, 100 meters, something like that in width. But that's a beautiful beach, and it's wonderful when after we've had a storm to come out here and see the surf. If you saw my video I guess it was last winter when I killed one of my camcorders in salt water, that's where I was filming from. There's really spectacular views out here after a storm. And that's the clubhouse. It has a pro shop, of course, a nice restaurant, and I think the basement has locker rooms or whatever for members of the golf club. Very nice building. I just found a lot of acorns that the squirrels didn't eat. Oak trees are not very common here. There are very few naturally occurring in the wild. These ones on the golf course were planted back in the 70s when the course was first built. And that's it there. You can see the size of the trunk. I'm not sure if it's a red oak or what it is. I have a red oak at my house, and I know it's over 40 years old. I planted it, my father and I planted it, in about 1973 or so. And my father died in 75, and a few years later my mother decided that the homestead was too large for her to be rattling around in all alone, and she sold the house and had a smaller home built. Anyway, I removed the tree before the house sold and brought it over to my property. It's a huge tree. I can barely get my arms around the trunk. As near as I know, it's at least close to 40 years old, has never had a single acorn on it, so I don't know what that means. Anyway, we're getting close to the end. There's one more clip that I'll show you. Well, we're almost back to where I parked my car. This pond is just a man-made pond. It's not really a water hazard either. The area next to it there is where you would tee off to go up over this hill that I just came down. And the next green is up there. I'm not sure which it is, maybe 6th or 7th green, something like that. But this is a pond for irrigation. It didn't dam up a stream or anything. It's just that it's in such a low area. Water seeks its own level, so the water seeps out of the ground from coming down under these hills and keeps it full. And the golf course is all plumbed or whatever underground with sprinkler systems, and There's a pump house over there where they pump the water up to keep the golf course nice and green. And that's a green over there behind that little shelter, where you would have come down over a hill to get down into this low area. I haven't been saying what I was going to do with the acorns. I found a second tree since I showed you those acorns that had lots underneath of it. Now I have a pocket pretty near full of them. I plan to put them in a plastic container and put them in the refrigerator for most of the winter to stratify them. And late winter, early spring, I'll pot them up and see if I can't get some oak seedlings started. What I'll do with those, I don't know. Give them away or plant them around my property somewhere, I guess. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. That's Angel and I finished our tour of the golf course. I'm not throwing a stick in that pond because she would go in there immediately. And as I say, I'm just about to get back in my car. Surprised that she didn't just go jump in anyway. She loves to swim. So, thank you for watching. Well, I had to give you one more look. This is the tee down to that green. There's a sign on the tree here. It says it's 145 yards. We just met one solitary golfer. There he goes. He doesn't trust the hunters either. He's wearing an orange hat. And he said the right thing. He thought how wonderful Angel was. So that does conclude the video. Once again, thank you for watching.